This is Artful Discourse, your weekly escape into the vibrant world of creativity, culture, and intellectual exploration. I'm your host, Benjamin Kirk, and I invite you to join me on a journey through the rich tapestry of human thought and the beating heart of artistic expression at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. 2 weeks ago, on April 19th, we had our Arts in Motion ceremony, a very special annual event where the Dean's Medalists are announced for the College of Arts and Humanities. Each of the 9 departments in the college put forward an undergraduate and a graduate student who they feel represents their students, best represents their students. Of those 16 students, 1 undergraduate and 1 graduate student is chosen as the Dean's Medalist, the best students in the college. Today, it's my pleasure to be joined by the College of Arts and Humanities Dean's Medalist, undergraduate Sophia James from the Department of Theater and Dance. And later on, we're going to be joined by MFA student Ermelinda Hernandez-Montores from the Department of English. Welcome, Sophia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So being the Dean's Medalist makes you the top student in the college. How does it feel to carry that distinction?
It fills me with such honor and gratitude to carry this distinction, but at the same time, I kind of struggle to have the spotlight be on me, and sometimes because a lot of the work that I deal with kind of deals with me amplifying and making sure every marginalized voice is kind of heard in that way.
And yeah, so you are a theater major with a design technology emphasis. So you're kind of the background person.
Yep.
And you've designed costumes for department productions as well as the Selma Art Center, and stage managed 6 shows here at Fresno State. But you've also done some at Selma Arts as well, right?
Yep.
And last summer, you interned at the Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival and were assistant designing in the Heights.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to Arts in Motion because you've accomplished so much. So now we're at this, basically the ceremony, and we're in the concert hall, sitting in the front row with the other students of distinction. And you had mentioned you were able to talk to some of those other students and
Yeah.
get to know them a little bit. What did you think
Mhm.
talking with the other students?
It honestly was a really awesome experience to just get to know each and every one of the students of distinction and just hear their stories and all of their work that they've done at Fresno State. And it made me like, I wonder how this decision is going to play out because we have such excellence here.
Now, for the undergraduates, Dean and Nora Chapman named the runners-up or the standard bearers. They get to carry the signs
hmm
into the commencement ceremony. They were Lillian Hammerstrom from the Department of Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures with a double major in political science, and Taylor Carrillo from the Department of Philosophy with a minor in criminology. Now, Sophia, after those names were mentioned, what was going through your mind? Did you have a premonition that perhaps you got it?
I don't know. I mean, hearing everyone's accolades and hearing where everyone is coming from perspective wise, I was like, this is just gonna be an amazing opportunity for whoever is decided as the medalist. So yeah.
And then Dean Chapman said your name as the medalist. And
Yeah.
what was your reaction?
Well, the first reaction was like, wow, my family is very loud right now.
They were very
But
loud.
no, yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, it was honestly a really just surreal experience, but really a great experience in general. And then I also had to make a surprise speech, and I wasn't expecting that, but it was such a full circle moment for me as a Fresno State student.
You did a great job with your surprise speech.
Thank you. And my tearful thankful to my mom and dad was quite memorable.
All right. So now in the coming weeks, you're both going to be up for the President's Medal.
Yeah.
So that is the top of the college.
Mhm.
So all of the Dean's medalists are, of those, one gets to be.
Mhm.
So how does it feel to be among that handful of students eligible to receive this honor?
It's again a surreal experience. I really didn't expect all of this recognition in this way. I'm feeling really like affirmed by not only the faculty at the theater and dance department, but also just the whole entire college, and the way we're able to kind of bring honor to different students is just like it's something that I neglect to remember as a graduate and kind of be grounded in the moment and just be accepting of everything. But yeah, the President's Award, I'm excited for the dinner, and I'm excited to meet new people and see how that plays out. It's gonna be awesome.
So tell me, Sophia, what do you love about theater?
Oh my goodness. What a question. Theater is very interesting in the way that you're able to communicate different stories and also the different ways that you're able to represent different communities, different ethnicities, all of these different theater is just like a great art form in general. And I kinda love the way you're able to kinda transform and, fully immerse different people into that kind of world that you wanna build. Yeah.
Now, you went to Edison High School. You're a valedictorian.
Yeah.
You came to Fresno State,
Mhm,
BA in theater arts, design, and technology.
mhm.
Uh, During your time at Fresno State, according to your resume, and you may have done more, so correct me if I'm wrong. You costume designed 7 plays between Fresno State, Selma Art Center, and the Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
You worked several roles in stage management, including Edison High. Including, I assume that's while you were at Edison High, you started that, and then Fresno State, Selma Art Center, and then the Children's Musical Theater Works.
Yeah.
You also worked as a student assistant in the costume design shop.
Mhm.
And then you have theater workshops.
Yeah.
What was those? Were those did you attend those? Did you
Yeah.
present at those or
So, I actually got an opportunity through the Lime Arts theater program, which was an online adaptation of a theater program where they were able to reimburse their working artists through different workshops that would kind of enhance their resumes and kind of prepare them in a career sense. Yeah.
and so not only are you doing work at Fresno State, you're also really involved in the community as well.
I try to be.
Yeah. And I I think what really stood out to me with you was your work with social justice and your attitude of using theater as a mouthpiece for social justice, and
Mhm.
if that's the right way to
No,
put
yeah.
it. And so, can you tell me about? I know right now you're working on the Diaspora of Dreams series at Selma Art Center. Can you tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about that, and tell me
Yeah.
about kind of your social justice, how your framework for that?
Yeah. I think when I first entered this exciting, awesome art form, I kind of realized how much of a depletion of stories that were not being told. And I kind of had that mindset even in high school, just like I want to make sure that once I leave this community, I want to make it a better one than when I found it. And through that, I think it kind of manifested into this Diaspora Dream series at Selma Arts, where we were able to put on two stories that celebrate different diverse stories. The first one was called Brother Size. That one's directed by Josh Slack. He is also an alum from Fresno State,
Yeah.
and that one was really transformative in the way that it was able to tell these three stories from these three men from Louisiana that were kind of navigating adulthood and what that looks like for Black men. And then the other story was from the Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play, which is a really exciting title. That one was directed by Nwachukwu Oputa, and that is also another Fresno State alum. So it was a very Fresno State kind of environment in nature. And that one was kind of centered around the school in Ghana and just different um, kind of stories that are being told over there as far as beauty standards and what they have to deal with in comparison to the American beauty standards as well.
Now, how many plays are in this series?
There were just two. We were starting off with two, which is very ambitious, even
Yeah.
for like kind of the Fresno community level to do two shows in tandem. But it was a very fulfilling experience providing that kind of space for Black people in Fresno State.
And I think we talked about this before, but refresh my memory. They were very close together too, right? The two
Oh,
shows. So
yes.
you almost are
Yes.
working on them as one
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah, no, we rehearsed them. We actually started in November and worked all the way up to Black History Month, February. And we're rehearsing shows at the same time, and then one show opened before the other. So Brothers Eyes opened, and then Schoolgirls opened. Yeah.
Right. Now, you also helped amplify LGBTQIA plus voices through your work with a production of Two Ladies of Vermont
Yeah.
in the Experimental Theater Company. Now, first of all, what is the Experimental Theater Company for those who don't know?
I'm so happy you asked. So the Experimental Theater Company is a student-led theater organization that started in the 1960s here in Fresno State. It is actually one of the only undergraduate theater production companies in the United States. It's a very awesome opportunity that we have here at Fresno State. And essentially, everyone from the director to the actors to the production designers to the crew, they're all students. And essentially, I am the student board chair for that. So I'm kind of overseeing all of that as well. And we got to produce Two Ladies of Vermont, which was really exciting last fall.
Now, tell me a little bit about that production. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So it was directed by student Haley Wallace. She came to us as the student board and presented this lovely show about two ladies of Vermont. It was kind of a queer retelling of the two gentlemen of Verona, but kind of fixed the problematic ending in a way to kind of adapt to a modern audience. And she actually proposed that we loop in the playwright Liana Keys, who is a trans, amazing, just theater artist in her own right, and kind of loop her in and have her do various workshops with our students as well to kind of educate them about what's actually happening in the industry and also be a part of and do a talk back with our cast and crew on our opening night, which was a really awesome experience that we were able to do at the theater and dance department.
What's next for you?
Oh my gosh.
That's probably the big question you're
That
getting all over, right?
that is the biggest question. I'm actually going to be going back to Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival. I'll be working as a wardrobe lead for both of their musical productions, which I'm super excited for. But after that, I'm looking to kind of explore the industry a little bit more. But ultimately, I do want to come back to the Fresno community and kind of teach or be some sort of art administrator in that kind of way to keep advocating and making sure that arts is a key part of the learning curriculum.
I briefly mentioned before that you costume designed at the Pennsylvania Art Shakespeare Festival before. What was that play again? That's what I was looking
In the
for.
Heights.
In the Heights.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience.
That was kind of my introductory experience into the professional theater world. So that was actually the first show I was assigned to when I was an intern at Pennsylvania Shakes. And I got to work under Jeanette Christensen, who is a very accomplished designer and freelance worker in the industry. And she kind of took me under her wing and showed me the ins and outs of what it takes and how much preparation you have to do as a costume designer and also preparing yourself for the next set of work because while she was working on In the Heights, she was also working on about like three different other productions as well, just to make sure she has a leg up. So yeah, very valuable experience. It's also a show that is kind of full circle for me because that is the show that I kind of started at Edison High School. We produced a production of In the Heights, and doing that show in a professional level was kind of like I can't even describe kind of what an experience that was for me. Yeah.
Well, Sophia, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
You will be at the College of Arts and Humanities commencement. I really hope you'll be there with your Dean's
I
Medal.
definitely will.
That's Friday, May 17th at 1 p.m. in the Same Arts Center.
Mhm.
And so thank you so much for joining us and
Thank
good luck
you.
with everything.
Thank you so much.
And now we're joined by Ermelinda Hernandez Manjores from the Department of English. She is our MFA in creative writing, and she is the Dean's Medalist. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Now, for the graduate Dean's Medalist, it's important to note that the English department puts forward one master's student or MA and one MFA or Master's in Fine Arts student. The difference being that an MA student can go on to receive a PhD, while the MFA is considered a terminal degree, or the furthest one can go in that field, similar to a PhD in other disciplines. So
Uh,
the graduates were announced in Arts in Motion, and the honorable mention went to Julia Herrera from the Department of Art Design and Art History, and Luis Granados Torres, an MA from the Department of English. Now, Ermelinda, at that point in the Arts in Motion program, what was going through your mind?
Um, Before that, I just wanted to clarify that MFA students can go to get a PhD and in creative writing, such as poetry as well. It's just very rare, but I know some students who have done that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was under the understanding that once you got that terminal degree, that was kind of it.
For a lot of people, yes, because there are fellowships and residencies and even conferences that you can go to further hone your skills or manuscript. But if you if you would like to, you could still pursue a PhD in creative writing.
That's very. I appreciate you clarifying that, and thank you for that information. Are you? Do you think you'll ever go back and get your PhD?
Maybe someday when I understand myself and my writing more,
Mhm.
and perhaps if I ever publish my first collection, I'll consider it.
So, I want to kind of get back to the Arts in Motion event, actually, and so you're there with all the other students in the line, and the honorable mentions went to Julia Araujo from the Department of Art Design and Art History, and Luis Granados Torres, an MA in the Department of English. So, what was going through your mind at that time?
I was really happy for them. I sat to next to the MA student. I don't know his full name, but I think Torres is his last name, as you
Yeah,
said.
Luis.
Yes, Luis Torres, and I just told him congratulations. I was really happy, and I think at that point I was just really nervous because um I'm quite a timid person, and I knew that there was an audience at the back of us, and that was the only thing that I could think about.
And then Dean Chapman said your name as the Dean's Medalist. What was your reaction?
I just hoped I could walk well because I tend to fall sometimes. As my brother states, I'm very clumsy.
Well, you made it, so that's good. So how did it feel?
It felt nice. I was really happy specifically because before the ceremony began, I knew that my brother was going to attend, and also my thesis chair, my Dravang, was there. She greeted me, and from there on, knowing that those two people were there for me, I was really happy. I was less nervous, and when I got the award, I I was just I was just happy that they were there to see me, and yeah, so it was that kind of feeling that I wanted to make them proud, and I was able to do that, but I think they were already proud of me even without the medal.
Yeah. Now, in the coming weeks, you and Sophia are both going to be up for the President's Medal, which is the most prestigious award a student could achieve at Fresno State. So, how does it feel to be among the handful of students who are even eligible to receive this honor?
Wow, I thought about that when when I first got the Dean's Medal Award. I knew that it meant that I would be among other students as candidates to receive the President's Award, and to be honest, I don't think I belong there. When I think about who I am and my background and where I come from, I know that, like, for example, myself, like, I myself wouldn't expect that or would have never considered that coming into the MFA program because, to be honest, I didn't even know what the Dean's Medalist was. I just wanted to apply to it because it would make my committee chair, my thesis chair, and my readers happy. So I think I was just doing it as something that I wanted them to be proud of me. But I, to this day, I still don't understand what that means. And to even consider the President's Award, I don't know what that means, but I'll definitely be going for the food. Yeah.
Well, I would like to encourage you a little bit because I think that a lot of your story comes from your background.
Mhm.
It is who you are, and it is, in my mind, a big contributor to where you are now.
Mhm.
And so just to put it in perspective, being the dean's, so being the student of distinction makes you the top student in your case in the MFA program, or the student that they would like to represent the program. Being the dean's medalist makes you the top student for the college. So that means that of all the programs that have or all the departments that have an MA program, you are that top student, and that puts you up with all the other colleges. Each put up a student, MA student for the student of distinction, or for the as the dean's medal for the president's medal. So the president's medal, there's one undergrad and one graduate student who are chosen, and those are the top two students that represent the university. So, I mean, right now you are in the top. I'm not exactly sure how many, but just a handful of students.
Mhm.
So it's quite an accomplishment. And I do want to back up because I think that it's good for everybody to kind of know where your story. Because I think it was when I talked to you before, I almost teared up a little bit. It was just such an emotional um, experience to talk about where you've come from and where you are today. S- well, let's start. So you were born in Oaxaca, Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you came to the United States. When did you come to the United States?
Yes. So I was born in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I lived there for a few years with my grandmother and my aunt. My grandmother was basically a maternal figure for me growing up, and then when we decided to cross the border, we came around the year 2000, and I think my grandmother and my aunt remember, the desert more than I do because I was very young at that age, and I didn't necessarily cross it. It's more like I was on the back, on someone's back, and so they carried me throughout the whole journey. But um, when I came here to the U.S., the first thing that felt strange was street lights, car lights, highways, cars. Everything was different because when I woke up, the first thing that I noticed was the night and that I was sitting inside a car. So I didn't even know what a car was. And I was sitting next to my aunt and my grandmother. And I thought it was a dream. And then I came here and I I had to forget my native tongue, which is Zapoteco,
Hmm.
and I had to learn how to speak English and Spanish. It was a very difficult journey because I was much older than the other kids. Even throughout middle school, high school, I was much older than the other kids, so it was a very different experience than others, and life was very complicating, not only in terms of environment, neighborhood environment, but also home life was very difficult. Um, yeah, so it was a lot of external violence and internal violence um, that unfolded, and also my precarious relationship with my family, and then having to move to various apartments and not really having a sense of stability or a sense of knowledge of what home was, and I think I'm still struggling with that. as well.
Hmm. I'm just looking at your list of accomplishments, and we're a little short on time, so I want to be sure we get to all of this. And I I love your story. It's just remarkable. You went to Fresno City College. You got an AA, highest honors. Came to Fresno State, a BA, creative writing option, summa cum laude. You've now MFA in creative writing and now a Dean's Medalist.
Mhm.
You've had 20 poems published.
Mhm.
Your anthology, Undocupoets, an introduction, will be published this fall. Did I say the name correctly of that one?
Yes, they recently changed it to We Are Here. I just got an email back from them about 2 days ago, and they changed the name of the anthology. But yes, I'm really proud of it because not only am I going to be published in an anthology that's among authors and writers that I've admired for years, but also that I'm going to be published with so many undocumented or formerly undocumented poets slash writers. And I think that's a very special feeling because it's people that I can relate to. It's people that I can understand.
But we're not even done yet. Hold on. So your photography has been featured in several publications. You're a homework help volunteer. You're a tutor at Walter Elementary, workshop facilitator. You've attended several conferences to hone your skills. You've read at dozens of events, and you've really had a ton of editorial experience as well. And you're very engaged in community work. Do you think your experiences have helped shape you as a poet? It sounds like you're still kind of struggling with your experiences growing up. And to be honest, I'm 50 and I still struggle with my experiences growing up. So I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I'm just curious what you think as far as that's made you the poet that you are.
I would definitely say that my volunteer experiences and my involvement in the community, either through literary means or just to help out, have shaped who I am and also my writing. And I think that comes back to me attending college at all because I wasn't planning to attend college when I graduated from high school until my friend Chua Yang kind of pushed me to apply to Fresno City College, and even when I finished Fresno City College, there was a problem with me getting into state, so I had to take a year off. And once again, I wasn't planning to attend college at all. And then once again, my friend Chua Yang came and she she basically pushed me to apply once again and to apply to transfer to state. And the reason why I come back to that moment is because she told me something that has always stayed with me, and that it's all about the people for her. That she really loves, literally enjoys helping people, and I've never understood that because I grew up in an environment that was very hard, that I've never considered about helping others as something you do. I've tried to do that as much as I could, and I've tried to volunteer or even engage in community because I think that's how my poetry evolves. That's how I'm able to break away from the cycle of violence. I'm able to break away from my own silence of keeping everything to myself. Yes, it has changed me a lot, and my writing style as well.
All right, Ermelinda, thank you so much for joining us today. And the Arts and Humanities commencement is Friday, May 17th at 1 p.m. at the Save Mart Center. Sophia and Ermelinda will join hundreds of other students as they cross the stage to receive their diplomas and boldly walk into their futures. We will see you next week for another edition of Artful Discourse. Artful Discourse is a production of the College of Arts and Humanities at California State University, Fresno. The Dean is Dr. Honora Chapman, and the Associate Dean is Dr. Sergio Laporta. This program is written, directed, and produced by me, Benjamin Kirk, the college's communication specialist. The theme song for Artful Discourse is Maiden Voyage by Fresno State music professor Benjamin Boone from his album, Joy. More information about his music can be found at benjaminboone.com. Special thanks to KFSR and FSR Underground General Manager Julie Lindahl for making this show possible. You can learn more about the College of Arts and Humanities and find an archive of our shows at our website, cah.fresnostate.edu, or on our blog, fresnostatecah.com.